Welcome to Purple Rose Crafts. Today we're going to make this awesome Celtic cabled headband. So it's a little bit more advanced of our cabling pattern that we have done in our previous cabling video. This is another headband pattern that I will post as well in the description below. It's actually quite simple once you kind of get the hang of it from there. So we are using it's just Red Heart Super Saver in the ombre. This is our pretty purple mixture of colors. And we are using, I don't know if you can see this, but these are 5mm knitting needles. And we will also need our cabling needle as well. It is a cast on of 22 stitches. And then we begin our pattern. Our cabling pattern is multiples of 4, if that matters to you. And then we also added 4 purls to like 2 to either side. So a total of 4 there as well to really make those pop out. I've also added this vertical knit section on the sides of our headband to give us our nice straight and flat pattern. All right, so our first row is our setup row, and so we slip our first stitch, knit our first 2, then we purl 2, and then we knit our first, for this cabled section here in the center, it is 16 stitches, sorry, it's 12 stitches, then purl 2, knit 2, and purl our last stitch to give us our nice straight edge, as we have talked about in previous videos as well. We're gonna get this nice straight edge here. All right, then our reverse row, which we will turn our work over, work back through all of the stitches. To do this row, I will post it in the description below as well. Slip our first stitch purlwise, as we have done in previous videos as well. Then we purl our next 2, knit 2, and then we purl 12 to go across this cabled pattern. Then knit 2, purl 2, and purl that last stitch as we do on the row in every row. Okay, so that row will continue every wrong side row that we're working in this direction along our headband. So now let's get back to actually doing the cables for our headband. All right, so here we go. We are inserting our needle purlwise, slipping our stitch off. I cinch it up here so it doesn't get too crazy on us. Knit our first 2 stitches normally. And then we're going to purl the next 2. Yarn to the back again. Now for this, we are at holding our yarn in the front. So now we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is knit the next 2 stitches. And now we're going to do our cables. So I put my right hand needle to the back to get it out of our way. Take our cable needle here, insert it into the first 2 stitches, loop them off and hold it in the front, and then knit the next 2. Then I'll slide the stitches down a little bit, hold this in the back, and then take the 2 stitches from our cable needle and knit those next. Now we're going to do this again. Insert the first 2 stitches onto our cable needle again. There we go. So knit the first 2 off of our left hand needle. And then 2 off of our cable needle again. So we're going to continue doing the same cable across for each row. So we always hold, for this row, we're going to hold our needle and our yarn and our stitches to the front. And then the other row, we're going to hold it to the back. So this pattern has a 4-row repeat. So we finish our last 2 stitches with 2 knits in our cabled section. And then we bring our yarn to the front, 2 purls, 2 knits, and a final purl to finish off our row. And then we're going to work our backside row the same as we just discussed. And as I said, for this section, we hold our yarn to the front for the whole row, and then we switch and move it to the back for the next set of stitches. So this is going to give us our nice pretty cabling that we see here. All right, so we turn it over. We're going to work our backside row. Again, our wrong side row, as we discussed, will always be the same. It's every even numbered row as we work along our headband. So at the beginning of the row here, we slipped purlwise, 2 purls, 2 knits. Now we're going to purl all the way across our cabled section. That's 12 stitches for this. But if you want to make a wider headband, you absolutely can do that. That would be, you would just add sets of 4 stitches to get to the desired width. When I made this headband, I was trying things out, and I tried starting with up to 30 stitches, and it was honestly, it was way too wide. It was almost more like a really wide hat. So I went back down to 22 for each row. All right. Then we knit 2, purl the last 3 on our row, and then we're ready to start cabling again from the front. Now this is an ombre yarn, so what's actually happening with our yarn is it's actually getting lighter as we work along our headband, which just might actually turn out to be beautiful. We shall see. I started out with a really dark section on another project that I had made, and now we're into kind of that medium purple. All right, so now working on our right side row again. So we're going to slip with our yarn in the back, purlwise. And then we're going to knit our first 2 stitches. All right, so we knit the first 2 after our slip, then we purl 2 there, and now we're going to go back into our cabling. All right, so for our cabling, we're going to slip our first 2 stitches. This time we're going to hold them in the back and then knit our stitches off of the left needle first. So there. And now we're going to knit the first 2 off of our left hand needle now. And then the 2. Okay, and I'm going to bring my cable needle back to the front and knit those 2 stitches next. So then we're going to knit our 2 off of the cable needle. All right, and now we're going to do this one 3 times. So slip this onto the cable needle, into the back. So we're knitting the 2 off of our left needle first, and then 2 off of our cable needle. Okay, so there's 2. Now we're going to come back and do our 3rd, again holding it in the back, because we do the same all the way across each row. There's no back and forth in this pattern. It's actually, it looks complicated, but it is relatively simple. Okay, so All that's complicated is holding all these needles. All right. All right, so the next 2 off there. And there we have the end of our cable section. And so now we have our 2 purls and then 2 knits and our final purl to end the row. All right, so that's our 4-row repeat for this headband. Nice and simple, and it is included, written out in the description below. And if you need help with any of these kind of knitting basics, watch this video I've included up in the corner. And we're gonna go ahead and finish off this headband. There you go. I hope you like this video. If you do, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button below. We have lots more knitting and crochet content coming up, including a crochet pocket shawl. We're still working on our granny square blanket, and lots more knitting tutorials coming up in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned and hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified when our next video goes live. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you next time.